We return to the music of Richard Wagner. This is Lecture 19. It is entitled The Ring, Part 3. The Valkyrie, what and who? The Valkyries are warrior princesses who provide an airborne hearse service. They fly through the air on horseback, transporting the bodies of recently killed warriors to Valhalla, warriors then reborn as members of Wotan's Praetorian Guard. This transporting of freshly killed warriors, sliced and diced as they must be, sounds like a messy job, though you wouldn't know it from the Valkyries, who would appear to be a bunch of gals having a lot of fun. The 9 Valkyries are all sisters, the children of Wotan and the Earth Mother Erda, who made a brief but important appearance at the end of the Rheingold when she warned Wotan not to keep the ring. The chief Valkyrie, the Valkyrie of the title, is Brunhilde, who is just about everybody's favorite character in the ring. The Valkyrie, Synopsis. Guided by the unseen hand of Wotan, a guy runs into a hut. He is Siegmund, who is, unbeknownst to him, the son of Wotan. Whom should Siegmund meet in the hut but his long-lost twin sister, Sieglinde? They immediately fall in love, and we're not talking about kiss on the cheek, brother-sister love, and do the thing. They then run off together along with a purportedly magic sword that Siegmund has managed to remove from a tree. They are followed by Sieglinde's husband, a local chieftain named Hunding, who is bent on revenge. Wotan's wife, Fricka, who happens, among other things, to be the patron goddess of marriage, informs Wotan that she requires that Siegmund die for stealing the wife of another man. Disconsolately, Wotan orders Brunhilde to whack Siegmund. However, not only does Brunhilde not kill Siegmund, but against Wotan's explicit orders, she tries to protect him. Sadly, he dies anyway. However, Sieglinde, pregnant with her brother's baby, is saved and spirited away by Brunhilde. Brunhilde's punishment for her treachery is to be placed comatose on a mountaintop within a ring of fire. She can only be awakened with a kiss from whatever heroic Mr. Right is able to get through the flames and is willing to kiss someone who handled corpses for a living. Act 1, Orchestral Prelude. A steady, plodding melody line in the low strings and trembling high strings depict a man on the run. Act 1, Scene 1, Wagner sets the scene. The interior of a dwelling. The room is built around the trunk of a mighty ash tree which forms its central point. At the back of the stage is the door to the room. Siegmund opens the door and enters. He seems exhausted. It is evident from his clothing and appearance that he is on the run. Seeing no one, he closes the door behind him and, with the effort of someone half dead with exhaustion, moves towards the hearth, where he throws himself down on a bearskin rug. Tell you the truth, Valhalla, the hut, is not. We are now in the land of mortals, and Siegmund has unknowingly been driven to this place by his father, Wotan, king of the gods. Sieglinde, the lady of the house, finds Siegmund lying before the hearth. He begs for water. She brings it to him. Their hands touch, their eyes meet, and whammo, a long, tender solo cello tells us everything we need to know. It's love, my friends. Siegmund and Sieglinde talk. She is the unhappy wife of a lump named Hunding. Siegmund assures her that, weaponless as he is, he offers no threat to either her or her husband. He further explains that he'd just been in a major brouhaha and that I'd never have run from my foes, but my spear and shield were smashed. Silently, they gaze at each other while they await Hunding's return. Act 1, Scene 2. Oh, Sieglinde, I'm home. Yes, Hunding enters, and we take an immediate dislike to him. He looks threateningly at Sigmund, and Sieglinde quickly explains, I found this man exhausted. Distress has brought him to our house. Hunding remarks to himself how much alike Sieglinde and the stranger look. They sit down to eat, and the conversation turns to Sigmund. What's your name, stranger, and what brings you to these parts? Sigmund's narration is a lengthy but important passage. We will read it and comment as we go. To the straightforward question of, who are you? Sigmund unhappily replies, I can't call myself Friedmund, meaning peaceful. I wish I were called Frovold, meaning cheerful. But Wevold, woeful, has to be my name. Wolf was my father. Okay, Wolf is Wotan's nickname. In the world of mortals, Wotan's proper name is Valsa, and thus any children he's fathered with human mothers, like Sigmund and Sieglinde, are called Volsung. Sigmund continues, I was born with a twin sister. I hardly ever knew either my mother or sister. Warlike was Wolf, and he had many enemies. One day we went out hunting, and when we returned, our lair was empty, burned to ashes. My mother lay slaughtered, and my sister had vanished. We became outlaws, my father and I passed my youth with him in the wood. We were pursued, but we two wolves defended ourselves bravely. Sigmund goes on to explain that after one particular battle, he was separated from his father and never saw him again. I left the woodland. I was drawn to other people, but wherever I went, I was always unpopular. Bad luck dogged me. Whatever I thought was right was wrong for others. Whatever seemed wrong to me, others approved of. I ran into trouble wherever I went. If I hankered for happiness, I only stirred up misery. So I should be called woeful. Woe is all I possess. The guy's a real bad luck bozo by any other name. Sieglinde asks Sigmund what happened to his weapons. Sigmund explains that he had come to the aid of a maiden forced against her will to marry, and that he managed to kill most of her kinsmen until she herself was killed, leaving him disarmed and running for his life. Well, you know, it just so happens that Hunding was just out with his kinsmen, vainly searching for the butcher who killed half his family. And here he is in Hunding's own house. Hunding informs Sigmund that he's welcome to spend the night, and that tomorrow he will be killed. Before or after breakfast, we ask. Hunding has a nightcap and heads off to bed with Sieglinde, leaving Sigmund alone. Act 1, Scene 3. Pacing about the room like the woeful wolfling he is, Sigmund vents. My father promised me that I would find a sword in deepest distress. Unarmed, I have found myself in an enemy's house. Yet I've seen a woman lovely and dignified. She draws me to her in longing, but she is held captive by a husband who mocks me. The part of Sigmund was composed for a Helden tenor, a heroic tenor, a tenor with a baritone's vocal weight and low range. It's a power and range that are put to the test in the next couple of sentences. Sigmund sings, Volsa, Volsa, where is your sword? The mighty sword that I shall wield in adversity, when from my breast breaks my furious rage. Volsa, father, where is your sword? The answer is not long in coming. Sieglinde tiptoes out of the bedchamber. She put knockout drops in Hunding's mead and is thus free to talk with Sigmund. She tells the tale of her wedding day when a stranger with one eye and a slouch hat, someone she thought she recognized, came into the hut and thrust a sword hilt deep into the ash tree at center stage. No one's been able to budge the sword since, and she knows that whoever can retrieve it will be her rescuer and her true and holy husband. How about that? Some really great love music follows as Siegmund and Sieglinde fall all over each other. Siegmund sings his spring song, equating the coming of spring with their own blossoming love. During the course of the extended duet that follows, they recognize each other as brother and sister, which only further inflames their mutual passion. Sieglinde ecstatically names her brother Siegmund, meaning literally victory orifice. Please don't blame the messenger. Finally, the moment comes. Victory orifice sidles up to the tree from which protrudes the sword hilt and sings, "Siegmund I am called, and Siegmund I am. Let this sword, which I hold without fear, bear witness. Volsa promised me I would find it one day. I seize it now. Notung, Notung," which means needy, as in serve me in my time of need. "So I name you, sword, needy, needy." And my friends, in Mr. Wagner's neighborhood, everything must have a name. We wonder what Siegmund calls his pillow. He sings, "Fearsome steel, show me your sharpness and cutting edge. Come out of your scabbard to me." And with a mighty yank, Siegmund draws the sword from the tree while Sieglinde moans with ecstasy. The removal of the sword is accompanied by a trumpet fanfare that is, no surprise, the sword leitmotif. The act ends with Sieglinde singing, "I am Sieglinde, who has longed for you. Your own true sister you have won for yourself with the sword." To which a visibly overexcited Siegmund replies, "Both bride and sister you will be to your brother, so let our Volsung blood increase." He grabs her with furious passion as the curtain falls. We all know what's about to happen, and it is creepy. Act 2, Scene 1. The second act is about meeting the title character, the Valkyrie Brunhilde, and observing the terrible dilemma she faces and the choice she makes. The action takes place in a wild and rocky mountain landscape. The scene opens with Wotan and Brunhilde on stage. She is dressed in armor and armed for battle. Wotan commands Brunhilde, "Bridle your horse, warrior maid. A furious battle will soon blaze. Brunhilde must fly into the fray and make sure that the Volsung," meaning Wotan's half-mortal son, Siegmund, wins. Brunhilde is G.I. Jane. She loves her job and she is always ready for action. Siegmund is her half-brother and she couldn't be more thrilled than to be able to protect him. In response to Wotan's instructions, she does her war cry yodel thing. "Hoya to ho! Hoya to ho! Hiya! Hiya! Hoya to ho! Hiya!"